Hi, it's Dr. Darnese again with another sort of amendment to my last Consider This. I realized that I said something, kind of brushed by something rather quickly, and I thought I'm going to have to go back and talk about that some more. I made reference to James, the brother of Jesus, or in the scripture, how it's referred to James, the brother of the Lord. So, in my previous video about the diversities of Christianity in the early years and how there's always been a diversity of Christianity, I said that Jesus was, or following Jesus' crucifixion and resurrection, the movement was led and managed by James, the brother of the Lord, and Peter and John. And for some people, that might really be news. I thought, wow, I'm asking people to consider things, and I kind of glossed over that rather quickly. Well, I know for some Catholic people, especially, it may be news because, Catholicism teaches that Mary was a virgin and that she was perpetually virginal or pure even after the birth of Jesus. And so, how could Jesus have any brothers and sisters? Well, if you read the New Testament, it tells us very clearly that Jesus had brothers and sisters. His sisters go unnamed, but there are places in the text where, because of Jesus' teachings and, as he's moving around conducting his ministry, there are times when his mother and his brothers come to, one can say, get him, or to kind of get him to stop, or whatever. We don't really know what exactly they were wanting to do, but we're told in Mark 3:31 that um, the the disciples gathered are saying to Jesus, "Your mother and your brothers are here. Your mother and your brothers are outside." And so Jesus' response is, "Oh, wait, you all now are my family." I'm paraphrasing that. But if you want to look it up, it's, you can find it in Mark 3:31, because he recognized what I'm doing now, my family may have a problem with, you know, which happens in many families when one person is doing something that seems so outrageous or so counter to what the family unit believes in. But I just wanted to go back and, ask you to consider this. Jesus had brothers, and we are told repeatedly in the text that James is the brother of the Lord. And for many people, maybe some Protestants, that's really not such a big deal. But theologically, it's a very big deal. Because who's Jesus's father in a physical sense? Who's the father of these other children? We would probably assume Joseph. And we would have to assume, I mean, not just assume, but know that Mary knew her husband Joseph and conceived and gave birth to other children. So theologically, that might make some difference to some people anyway. We're also told that Jesus had a brother, Jude. So we have a book in the New Testament called Jude. And so James and Jude are the ones who are named as Jesus's brothers. And again, I'm just asking you to consider, maybe it's not such a big deal to you. Some of my Catholic friends, it may be shocking. Maybe it's not such a big deal to you either. I know in some Catholic tradition, those lines about brothers and sisters have been changed in tradition, not the text actually, but changed in tradition to be understood as Jesus's cousins or Jesus's step siblings, meaning that Joseph was married before Mary and had a wife who passed away apparently, and that these were the children from his previous marriage, and so when he married Mary, he already had children. Now that's a whole lot to read into the text, and one of the reasons why I'm doing these Consider This kind of teachings is because it's really important for us. If you're a person of faith and your faith is important to you, you need to know what's really there or what is an interpretation. And interpretations are fine in terms of a faith statement. But when you then say, well, my way is the truth, well, now you're stepping into the realm of history, society, culture, things that can be verified or not, or verified to be not true. As a faith statement, we can say a whole lot and say, well, I believe in the resurrection, for example. And I'll probably have to do consider this segment on the resurrection. I mean, how do we know that the resurrection actually happened? How do we know? Another topic. But yeah, I just wanted to come on and give some clarity about that statement I made about James, the brother of the Lord. There are several books on it. I've got one that I'm reading right now, actually, called The Brother of Jesus and the Lost Teachings of Christianity. I'm not giving this a particular recommendation for the world to go out and buy. It's written by Jeffrey Butz, B-U-T-Z. It just happens to be what I'm reading right now. And there's another one by the scholar Robert Eisenman, James, the Brother of the Lord, I believe is the name of it. So if you have an interest and you'd like to delve more into that history, knock yourself out. I'm a religion teacher, and so I'm all about people doing their own research and investigating and seeing what they come up with, because the layers of information we have are really fascinating. I mean, they're really fascinating, and they really actually enhance faith, because then your faith is not reduced to a list of fundamentals. Your faith does not rest on something about, Mary's virginity or perpetual virginity. That can be a faith statement, but it doesn't have to be historically true. And if somebody at some point proves for sure, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that she wasn't, I mean, does that really mean that the whole house of Christianity has to come crashing down? I mean, really? So, and I think not. I think that as mature people, we develop a mature faith, and we recognize that the people who were writing the scriptures were people, and their desire was to pass on information that could sustain faith. It's information for people of faith to help sustain faith, and there's no problem with that whatsoever. But, when we get into this battle about what was historically true, or whose religion is not right or true because theirs is not historically accurate, when a lot of people don't even understand their own scriptures, that's where, as a teacher, it just becomes like a bee in my bonnet, I suppose. So anyway, as always, if you have a comment, please leave it. If you have a question, I'd love to know from you what you'd like to know more about. And that's all for now, and I'll be back soon.